Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to address one of your guys' questions, and the question sounds like this. What options should you choose for your car? And this question brings up a lot of ideas and one important fact about deciding to buy a new car or basically everything. So before we jump into conclusions, let's address one important fact. I want to explain you about the diminishing returns law. You don't have to buy the most expensive thing in order to enjoy it. I want to give an example. If you want to buy an iPad, there is a 400 euros one and a 1000 euros one. The diminishing returns law says that the 400 euros iPad will give you 80% of the experience, while the 1000 euros iPad will give you 100% of the experience. So by paying double the amount, you just improve your experience by 20%. But if you buy the 400 euros iPad, you are already getting the 80% of the experience. It's the same thing with cars, and especially new cars. Let's say you want to buy a Porsche Taycan, and you will see that there are dozens of options and models to choose from. There is from the least expensive one to the most expensive one in different body shapes. The body shapes doesn't count here because it's preferably your option, not anyone else's. And let's say you have a certain amount of money and you could only afford the base model Taycan without any options. It's completely fine to go with that because you have a 71 kilowatt hour battery. You have the basically entire PCM system with the curved display, with the PCM 6, and also the central display where you can modify the air conditioning settings. And you are getting basically every single panel from a Porsche Taycan. You don't have to upgrade the trim line to the sport design package or upgrading to the matrix LED lights, which we will talk about shortly. You just have to buy the car, and the options that you add, firstly you don't have to overspend, and secondly you have to see and use those options. You don't have to choose an option just that you think that the resale value will be better. This is completely false. Here I have a set of options that I think are the most important, and first up being the Performance Battery Plus. I want to give a short disclosure. Don't confuse important to needed. You don't need any of those options, you just need the car. But here are some important ones. First one will be the Performance Battery Plus, which I think is one of the most important options that you are choosing, and also one of the most expensive ones. It will give you more power and presumably more range, but you are not getting that range without the heat pump. So if you live in a temperate area, let's say you have winter and you also have summer, you have to choose also the heat pump, because that will help you with the consumption, because it will not use the energy from the battery in order to heat up the cabin. Another hugely important upgrade is the 22 kilowatt onboard charger. That means that standard on the car, it comes with an 11 kilowatt charger, onboard charger, and it's fine. But if you want to future-proof the car, you have to option that as well, because sooner than later the AC power will be upgraded to, I think, 35 or 40 kilowatts, and by having a 22 kilowatt, you kind of do yourself a favor. Because in shopping malls and I don't know, if you're going to groceries, you have there mostly AC chargers, not DC ones, because they know that if the car charges really fast, you will get out of the store sooner. That's the general idea. Another important option which I didn't choose on my car is the rear steering. That is a pretty important one if you daily drive the car. So let's say you are going to the groceries every week, or you are going to work, and also the rear steering will help you with maneuvering the car, because this is a very big car by my standards, because as you can see in the left of me is Mercedes, which I think this one is much bigger, although it feels much smaller inside. This is the general trend, and by having the rear steering and also the 360 camera view will help you get away with some maneuvering. Now let's go into a list into some not so important options. First up is the matrix headlights. You will get away with the PDLS Plus. I was fortunate enough to test them, and I saw that there is basically not a difference when it comes to a low beam and the maximum power of high beam, but it will help you tremendously when you, let's say you want to drive from point A to point B in the night and a car comes across and you don't have to manually switch from high beam to low beam. It will do that automatically, and the car in front will be not blinded, and you will have the side of the road very nicely illuminated. One important fact about the headlights, whatever you choose, the 4 points will be there, so the signature will be no matter what, if you choose the standard LEDs, the PDLS or the matrix. But one important aspect is that the matrix has a little bit bigger of a point, if that makes any sense. That's generally the only difference on the outside. The panoramic roof. If you drive this car only by yourself or your passenger, I won't get it, because you, as a driver, you won't see the panoramic roof, but it will help by keeping the cabin a little bit lighter. I was fortunate enough to sit in a car without the panoramic roof, and it felt quite dark. And for the ending part, I will speak only for the sound system. I think the Bose surround sound system is the sweet spot of sound system. The Burmester is too expensive, and the standard sound system is average, not amazing by any standards, but the Bose surround sound system is, I think, the best of both worlds. You have a decent sound quality and at a decent price. So be aware of the leather upgrade, because as important as it sounds, is not that important. I will highly encourage you guys to go to a Porsche dealership and see both interiors head to head, and then you will be able to give yourself an impression of if it's worth it or not. I chose the upgraded leather just for the color. I really wanted the red interior, and the only way I could get the red interior is by upgrading the entire this entire cabin with leather, which is a very expensive option, and for me it was worth it. But you can get as standard the black interior, the gray interior, and the beige interior. So if you like beige, you can get away with standard interior, no cost. I think is the best thing to do. About the exterior color, one thing I will mention, there is no difference between the Carrera white and the basic white, so don't choose the Carrera white just because it's a metallic paint. It won't give you any sort of difference. You will get better if you choose the Neptune blue, the Mamba green, and other color like that, but not white or metallic white. This is a useless option, and I will not option that. this is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, you know what to do. And if you have any more questions, please leave them down below, and I will read and reply to them as soon as possible. Ciao.